CSS Pakistan Part 2.
Parts of CSS exam. Parts of CSS exam. Number 1, written examination. Number 2, medical test. Number 3, psychological test. Number 4, Viva Voz. Number 1, written examination. The written exam carries total 1200 marks. For written exam, candidate has to take all compulsory 6 subjects, papers, which carry total 600 marks. Also select 6 subjects from optional subjects which carry total 600 marks. Each paper is given time of 3 hours. There are subjective questions as well as some MCQs. MCQs are to be attempted on computerized OMR answer sheet. Subjective questions are to be attempted on answer book. Blue or black ink is allowed only. To pass the written examination, a candidate should obtain at least 40% in each compulsory subject. A candidate should obtain at least 33% in each of optional subject. A candidate should obtain at least 50% in aggregate. We will discuss in later videos about compulsory or optional subjects in detail with marks. Number 2, medical test. Candidates who qualify the written examination will be medically examined by the medical boards, constituted for the purpose to ensure that candidate is in good mental and physical health, and free from any physical defect likely to interfere with the discharge of their duties. The candidates who, after such medical examination which government or the appointing authority may prescribe, are found not to satisfy these requirements, will not be appointed except the disabled candidates as rules mentioned for disabled candidates, by fpsc. Disabled candidates must submit a certificate of disability issued by the competent authority, designated for the purpose by the federal provincial government. Disabled candidates in the categories of physically impaired, hearing speech impaired, deaf and dumb, and visually impaired, blind, are allowed to compete for competitive examination against 4 occupational group services via A. Commerce and Trade Group, B. Pakistan Audit and Account Service, C. Information Group, D. Postal Group. Disabled candidates will be provided helpers such as rider, if so requested by them in their application forms. In order to prevent disappointment, candidates are advised to have themselves examined by a government medical officer of the standing of a civil surgeon before applying for admission to the examination. Number 3, psychological test. All candidates called for Viva Voz will be required to undergo psychological test first, comprising written tests and group tasks. Such tests are designed to assess abilities, attitude and personality characteristics of the candidates with special regard to their aptitude for the civil services. Separate marks are not awarded for the psychological assessment, however. 300 marks assigned to Viva Voz also reflect the performance on psychological test. Candidates must bring their national identity cards and 2 copies of recent photographs when summoned for psychological test and Viva Voz. If a candidate remains absent in the psychological test, he/she will not be allowed to appear for Viva Voz. Number 4, Viva Voz. Each candidate who qualifies written part of the exam will be interviewed by a board. He/she will be asked questions on matters of general interest. The object of the interview is to assess his/her suitability for the services for which he/she is entered, and in framing their assessment the board will attach particular importance to the moral and ethical qualities of the candidates, his/her intelligence and alertness of mind, his/her vigor and strength of character, and his/her potential qualities of leadership. the board will take into consideration is her extramural activities such as sports, debates, hobbies, etc., and their effect on is her physique and character, in assessing is her merit. All candidates are expected to have basic knowledge regarding Islam in Pakistan. Questions may be asked in the interview on these subjects. Persons securing less than pass marks in these subjects will not be considered for appointment to government jobs, irrespective of their proficiency in other fields. The non-Muslim candidates will not be asked any question regarding Islam. Qualifying marks in overall test for eligibility for appointment. The Commission with prior approval of the government may fix qualifying marks in any or all of the subjects of the examination, but a candidate who fails to secure at least 40% marks in any compulsory subject, 33% marks in any of the optional subjects, or 50% marks in the aggregate and 100 marks at the Viva Voce, will be considered to have failed and will not be eligible for appointment. How many times a candidate can take the CSS exam? 3 times only. Recounting of CSS exam. If you want to do recounting of your marks obtained in CSS exam, you will have to submit your request for recounting within 1 month from the date of issue of result card mark sheet, along with a treasury challenge of Rs. 200/ per paper as fee of recounting. You can view more videos on our channel. Please visit and subscribe, youtube.com/codecomplex.